Hey everyone, so I wanted to make this video because this year marks 20 years that I've been living with Crohn's disease. I wanted to start from the beginning and tell you my story because it's not an easy disease to deal with, and I honestly don't know where it came from. It all started when I was 12. No one in my family has stomach problems except my sister. She has IBS, but that's really about it, but she got it later on in life. So it all started one summer. I was sleeping in Long Island at my aunt's house, and I was young, playing, whatever, and all of a sudden my stomach started hurting, and I started vomiting, and that lasted for about 2 days. Then I started going to the bathroom a lot, like 10, 12 times, and it was coming out loose like water. So I wasn't holding anything down. I was throwing up. I was going to the bathroom 12, 13 times a day, and my stomach was killing me. My aunt gave me medicine, and we couldn't figure out what it was. So we called my mom, come get me. This lasted for about 3 to 4 days, throwing up, couldn't hold anything down. Finally, my mother said, okay, I think we should go to the emergency room. Now, my mom was already working in the hospital, in the trauma center, so my mom already knew doctors, and I got lucky in that area. So we went to the emergency, and one of my mom's friends, who was a doctor, came, looked at me, and ordered an ultrasound. So we did the ultrasound, and the results came back that my appendix was enlarged. So next step was surgery, have my appendix out. I saw my mom crying, my uncle crying, my dad. I said, Mom, it's going to be okay, So after surgery came out, my appendix was gone. Next day, symptoms again. Vomiting, diarrhea, not holding any medication down, and now blood was coming out in my stool. Every time I would go to the bathroom, chunks of blood were coming out. I was losing so much blood that when I went to the bathroom, I would see white spots floating in front of my eyes. So, of course, stayed in the hospital, more testing, trying to figure out what was wrong with me. I lost so much weight that I had to do another surgery where they had to put a tube in my neck, came out over here, and they had to feed me liquid nutrition because I wasn't holding anything down. The medical term is TPN, total potential nutrition, something like that. Total, I don't know. But TPN, that's what they put inside of me because I couldn't hold anything down. So while this was going on, more tests, more suffering, more pain, more blood. Then talks of blood transfusion was in the works because I was losing so much blood that they were scared I didn't have enough blood. Thankfully, I didn't need that. So as the test went on, I was in the hospital for months, suffering, pain, throwing up. You can imagine everybody hates throwing up, right? Being sick with pain. My mother didn't leave my side, God bless that woman. She went home, showered, changed, but that was it. Slept over with me in uncomfortable chairs every night. Thank God for that. My dad stayed with me, everybody was nervous. I mean, I looked like this. I was like 90 pounds at the age of 12. I was just emaciated, couldn't hold anything down, suffering in pain. I missed so much school. Then came the colonoscopy. Now, I vaguely remember the colonoscopy because, of course, you get anesthesia. But I know that I remember my very first colonoscopy, my eyes weren't closed. I was able to see everything on the TV. I didn't feel anything, of course, but I saw everything that was going on. So, after that test, they ruled out irritable bowel syndrome. Then, things just got worse after that. More vomiting, still not holding it. The pain came, gone, Some nights I'd be fine, some days I'd be fine, then the throwing up. After I was discharged from the hospital, went home, about a week later, pain again, throwing up again, back in the hospital, more tests. Now they're ruling out Crohn's disease, which is a lot worse than IBS. So the final call was Crohn's disease. I was put on steroids for my stomach, the worst medication in the world because the side effects are horrible. First of all, you get really puffy cheeks. My cheeks were so fat. People thought I was like gaining so much weight. People asking me how I got so fat. Then hairy. It makes so much hair like everywhere. So the puffy cheeks, the hair, it was horrible. But it was an anti-inflammatory, which was supposed to keep my intestines down and not inflamed. I was on that for a while. I got really fat. My sister used to call me Rosemary from Shallow Hal. She used to make fun of me all the time. So then that ended, finally, the prednisone steroid. I was on that for a while. It was on 80 milligrams, which is really high. When I started to get better, they took me off of that. Then I was on a medicine called a Zelvadine, orange pill. I was on that for a while too, until I think it stopped working. So my doctor changed me to Pentasa and Imuran. I don't know why I was on Imuran because that's for the liver, but that's what he put me on, and I've been on that for a really long time. And let me not get into that medication because I absolutely hate that medication. It causes internal itching in my veins that drive me insane. So then after that, that medication was over because I couldn't take that medication no more. So I self-diagnosed myself and quit that medication. The disease, was off and on throughout my life from the age of 12 to about 19, 20. On and off, in and out the hospital, always suffering and pain. There were certain things I couldn't eat. If I ate popcorn, I'd end up in the hospital. I ate a hot dog once and went to the hospital. So at the age of 20, I decided to see a new specialist. Why? Because my specialist that I was with for my disease was a pediatrician. So now he recommended that I move to another physician who specialized in adults and things like that. So I went to see a specialist in Manhattan, and he wanted to do a colonoscopy because every new doctor you see wants a colonoscopy. They want to see what they're dealing with, what's going on. Did the colonoscopy, and my intestines were black. Normal intestines supposed to be pink, shiny. Mine, you couldn't see anything. It was pitch black. And I had so much disease that it had to be removed. There was nothing they could do. The intestines was just done. Now, when we went into the doctor's office after the colonoscopy, and my mom was very comfortable with this doctor. We could tell he was really good. He was highly recommended. And we went into his office and we discussed the procedure, what was next, removing the intestines, things like that. Now, there was talk about an ileostomy bag, which I had no clue what that was until that day. Found out, and I couldn't even bear it. Do you know what an ileostomy bag is? A piece of your intestines hanging out of your stomach that you have to crap in a bag. I just started busting out crying, and my mom said to the doctor, if my daughter has to have this bag forever. So the doctor said, no, there's a chance we could reverse it. He wanted to do the surgery first with the bag because he said it would be more safe. But there was a chance he could do it without doing the bag. And I begged, please don't do the bag. I don't want it. So, come the day of surgery, 5 feet of my intestines removed. I came out of the surgery, stapled up. Morphine drip. Didn't even know who was there. Anyway, stapled up. Thankfully, they didn't have to do the bag. In pain, 2-3 days. 4th, 5th day, my friend came to visit, and she's telling me she smells something. And I'm, what do you smell? She's saying, I don't know. You smell. I smell something. And I couldn't figure it out. Bam. Next thing you know, staph infection leaking out of the staples. I didn't know, though, because I was on so much drugs and morphine that I didn't even know I was rushed for an immediate surgery. Took the staples out. I didn't know any of this after until my mom told me what went on, the real drama of it. So they took the staples out, and I don't know what they did, but they had to get I was getting a staph infection and I almost died. They had to get it out before I died, and my mom flipped. So they had to do the bag, of course, and so when I came out of that surgery, I had the awful, disgusting ileostomy bag. You don't even want to know about that, because that thing is just, oh my God. So luckily the doctor told me it would be 6-8 months and they would reverse it if all went well. For that 6 months, let me tell you, boy, I suffered. I wouldn't wish that bag upon my worst enemy. Wouldn't wish it. It is the most disgusting. I felt like I smelled all the time. Every 2 seconds I was spraying it with perfume. I was putting Tic Tacs in there, mints. They were changing it so much my skin was ripping raw. It was just horrible. I would never wish that on my worst enemy. I started dating Carmen at the time, and it was just mortifying. I didn't want to see anybody. I didn't want to go out. Eventually, after a few months, I can't even say it got better or I got used to it, because I didn't. That would have took. After the 6 months, got it reversed, and now my stomach looks pretty much like Freddy Krueger. But what are you going to do? At least I'm alive, right? So, after a year or two later, my scar was fully healed. My father agreed to plastic surgery. So, then I went for the consultation for that. 3 plastic surgeries later, still look like Freddy Krueger, but hey, when I started, I didn't have a belly button. They had to reconstruct me one. So my stomach looks a lot better than when I started. That's not to say I'm disease-free now. I mean, every day it is a battle. I do struggle. I do have bathroom issues. Can't go anywhere unless there's a bathroom. Can't eat out with my friends unless there's a bathroom. I mean, normal human will take 2 hours to digest. I take about 10-15 minutes. Something I gotta live with, but I'm thankful to be alive, and so what? I have a scar. At least I can cover it with my clothes. And I'm just glad that I'm alive and thankful that it's over, hopefully, knock on wood. Because this is not something I would wish on anybody. And anyone out there who has Crohn's disease, trust me, I feel your pain. It's not to be taken lightly. You have to watch what you eat and avoid things that, kill your stomach and hurt your stomach, and that's a lot of things. And if people don't understand your disease, or friends can't understand it, that they're not real friends. Thank you for listening to my story. See you later.